Before we begin this review, I would like to offer special thanks to these people. In particular, Chromaslip, Fopdoodle, Captain, and Stargazer. If you want to get on this list of wonderful, wonderful people, there's a link to Patreon in the description below. It only takes $1 to become cannon fodder, or if you want to become one of our first in and get to see previews of all of my content before it comes out, it's $3. And they basically have kept me going and keep this channel going. So please do go have a look, and hopefully you'll become a new supporter. XCOM Chimera Squad. Oh boy. This is actually fun. It's a strange bit of quirkiness to it, but it's actually fun. The game is extremely challenging, just like every XCOM game you've ever played. It's also fun just to have the aliens on your side and play with the aliens. I'm being honest. It's legitimately just fun. The mechanics are less exploration and discovery and tension, and more straight up, you're dropped in the fight and you're always in the fight. There's none of this guessing or scouting or anything of that nature. You were just there fighting. So it's purely the combat mechanics. One of the most welcomed changes, in my opinion, is the initiative. Especially when you're doing tactical operations where you're going to be just outnumbered every time. But having an initiative order is something that I think the old XCOM 1 and 2 by Firaxis would be just scream, please do this. Because what it means is the enemies fight back, so there is no perfect round where you just can't be touched. But at the same time, if you make a mistake, you're not punished for it exponentially. You're only punished for mistakes once, and then you're given a chance to fix it. So, in my opinion, great stuff. The game, for once, feels fair. And that's saying something coming from an XCOM game. XCOM feels fair. All of the breaching mechanics work wonderfully. The enemies are things that you have to dynamically figure out and determine who's the biggest threat, not only based on what they are, but based on when they are going. I.e., that sorceress over there might be able to rip you apart, but she's not going for like 7 rounds. Now, there are some issues. For a start, the immersion of being a SWAT team in this situation is broken a little bit when you have infinite spawning enemies. That just doesn't make any sense to me. If you're a SWAT team going in, the police obviously should have the area surrounded, and they don't. And that's kind of strange, and it definitely breaks the immersion effect of the game. It really removes suspension of disbelief. The next thing, and it's a cheap mechanic. I'm going to be honest. Infinite spawning enemies is cheap, and it's a mechanic that should be better than XCOM. Then I'm reminded that XCOM 2's last mission is basically an enemy spawn pool that you just have to deal with when you try to kill a specific enemy over and over again. And that's what you went with. And it's terrible. The last level of XCOM 2 is awful, and any levels in this game where you have infinite spawning enemies is just as bad. The upgrades and changes to your squad make sense, but at the same time, the time they take doesn't really sit well with me, because they don't take very long at all. You're talking a couple days to get like a master crafted weapon. Okay, that's awkward, considering we're doing a day-by-day thing instead of a week-by-week or month-by-month. It's literally day-by-day.
Keep wasting your effort.
The city anarchy mechanic feels very dated now. The whole idea of the city eventually just going into chaos, there would have to be some real other underlying problems for that to happen, and it wouldn't just be the police force failing to contain a couple gangs. It feels a little contrived in a bad way. And lastly, the biggest grievance I have: you're only allowed 8 characters in one playthrough. The game forces you to do multiple playthroughs to get to play with all the characters. Not okay.
It's all right.
Not okay.
Can't touch this.
I legitimately do not. This does not make me feel good. The SCAR system, I approve of. The training system, I approve of. Every other system in this game feels like it should be there and feels good to use and good to implement. But the character limit.
Need me to take a look?
I come from XCOM Long War, so understand my perspective. Should not be a limit. Because from my perspective, I had 162 soldiers. Minus 20-something that died, so at the end of the game, I had something like 136 soldiers in my barracks, whose lowest rank was sergeant. And I'm only allowed 8 people. It's a story-driven game. I like that it's a story-driven game. The story, it's a B-rated sci-fi feature, but it's still a story that sits well in XCOM's universe, and it's one I can enjoy. I'm disappointed I don't get to enjoy it with all the characters and all their different lines and all their different forms of dialogue, and the flexibility of deploying all of them.
Target in sight. Still standing. Barely.
All of this said, Chimera Squad is relatively good if you can get past the crashes. I had to stop streaming it because we can't seem to fix this one crash where I throw a grenade and the game just goes, nope, I'm done. And I go, well, fuck you too. And there seems to be no way to fix it. It's built in the XCOM 2 engine. XCOM 2 engine, as everyone knows, was buggy, and now they're pushing it to do things that it was never really intended to do. But hey, if you want more XCOM, this is it. This is your thing. Like, Gears of War Tactics, I'm told, is better, and it's something I would like to play. But for $20? I mean, I've got 19 hours out of the game for $20. I'm okay with this. So check it out. Chimera Squad, available on Steam, available on wherever you buy your computer games. $20. It's pretty damn good. So, this has been a review done quick. I am in the middle of moving. It's a 10-day drive, and I wanted to make sure you guys had some content. I'm going to try to stream from hotel rooms, no promises, but we'll see what the PS4 can manage to do. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope to see you all next time on my channel. I hit the like button, leave some comments. I'll get to the comments as soon as I get to my hotel room for the night. In the meantime, I'm driving, and I will see all of you guys as soon as I can. Good night, everyone.